They say that the fall of a dry leaf is a warning to the green ones that one day they too will fall. If we allow the illegality of the suspension of Rivers State Governor Fubara by Tinubu in the name of declaration of state of emergency, if we allow it to stand, it is a warning to all opposition governors in Nigeria. It must be resisted. We should see action. If you think that, oh, it is Fubara today, it not concern you, just wait. Just you wait. What does it mean? If allowed to stand, it means that Tinubu can just wake up tomorrow, look at a state that is not an APC state, instigate some politicians to cause some small trouble in there, and then declare a state of emergency. Appoint somebody that is loyal to APC in that state. That is what it means. That is how dangerous this is. We must not let it stand. What El Rufai did to Buhari is what state governors must now do. It's not about asking Fubara to go to court. That is a long journey. Other PDP governors, other Labour Party governors, ABGA governors, NNPP governor, they must all now come together and take the action that El Rufai took, the step that El Rufai took during the currency swap of the CBN under Emefiele, where the state governor took the federal government to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court activated its original jurisdiction. State governors must now do the same. Asking Fubara to go this alone is not going to be something that will augur well for other governors. He has legal grounds to do that, don't get me wrong. But something that will be far more cogent is for the governors to institute a suit against Tinubu and the federal government at the Supreme Court. Let the Supreme Court invoke its original jurisdiction and sort this matter once and for all. Don't say, oh, Tinubu owns the judiciary. There are things that are very, very clear in law. It's not everything that the judiciary can manipulate to their own prerogative. This one is not such a thing. So PDP governors, Labour Party governors, the ball is in your court. You have legal grounds. That is one. Two, the National Assembly, the opposition in the House of Representatives is strong. The opposition in the Senate is strong. Section 305 requires 2/3 vote of the National Assembly to ratify this proclamation of state of emergency in Rivers. This is the time for opposition lawmakers to at least stand for rule of law. The president has usurped your power, the power of the National Assembly to take over the legislative function of State House of Assembly. He has taken it over. He has given it to his Federal Executive Council. Are you going to watch? Yes, you can say the leadership is a rubber stamp, but I expect that if an Akpabio or a Tajuddin Abbas would dance to the tune of Tinubu, should the opposition lawmakers also do same? With all the defections that have taken place, you still need 2/3. And the last time I checked, if all opposition lawmakers came together in the National Assembly and stood against this illegal declaration by Tinubu, the proclamation will fail. So we have two options that stand a very good ground to succeed. The governors of the opposition political parties should institute a suit against the federal government immediately. This is not the time to think that it not concern you. It concern you. It may be Fubara today, it may be you tomorrow. If you allow this to stand, you are inviting your own calamity very quickly. Because like I said, all the president needs to do is get some politicians like Wike to cause some unrest in your state, and then he will declare a state of emergency. So it is in your own interest, if you are an opposition governor, to institute that suit against the federal government. Let the Supreme Court invoke its original jurisdiction. Yes, if El Rufai could do it, why can't you? This is not the time to be cowardly. This is the time to stand up and be brave. The president has powers to declare state of emergency, yes, to take care of security issues or security threats, not to suspend democratically elected persons. No. So, institute an original a suit against the FG at the Supreme Court immediately. And then opposition lawmakers in the National Assembly, this is the time for you to stand up for justice, for rule of law, for due process, for once. If we can do this too, of course, we have a chance to curb the dictatorship tendencies, the autocratic tendencies of a President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We have a chance to do that. Then, of course, the political parties, the governor, they have a right to go to court. Even Nigerians have a right to go to court to challenge this illegal proclamation. This is not the time to be quiet. It is not the time to be quiet. What makes all of these very, very painful and hard to bear is the fact that Tinubu is one of the APC leaders that complained about this and pushed this position in 2013-2014 when Goodluck Jonathan declared a state of emergency in Yobe, Borno, and Adamawa. Kashim Shettima, our vice president today, was the governor of Borno State. He was not suspended. With all the war that was taking place in Borno then, with all the terrorism and the havoc that Boko Haram wreaked on Borno, he was not suspended in that state of emergency that Jonathan declared. Why is it different today? Why is it that Tinubu has no shame? Why is it that Kashim has no shame? Why is it that the APC has no shame? At least suppose get small shame. That a position you canvassed a few years ago, 10, 11 years ago, you are doing the direct opposite today. This is what makes it unbearable. In fact, this is one of the arguments that you governors can take to the Supreme Court when the Supreme Court invokes its original jurisdiction. This is one of the arguments you present as opposition lawmakers when you present your case to oppose the ratification of this proclamation, this illegal proclamation in the National Assembly. This must not be allowed to pass. Like I said, the fall of a dry leaf today is a warning to the green ones that one day you too will fall. You cannot leave this to Fubara. This is a task that all Nigerians must engage in. We cannot be quiet. We cannot. We cannot. Because if we do, we are opening the floodgates for dictatorship. And by the way, in case you don't know, all of these are temporary measures. The more permanent solution will be for us to take charge of the people who control this country. And that will be to retire these dictators that call themselves Democrats.